Alright, since I'm not filthy dirty yet, I'm going to work on the interior. I got to take the front two seats out, and I'm going to take the steering column out, and then I'm going to take the pedal box out. All three of those things need to come out. Number one, we got to get the seats out so we can pull the carpet back, and we got to cut a hole in the floor for a shifter. I want to get the steering column out because I need more room, because I want to get the pedal box out because we need to drill a hole in the firewall, and we need to modify our pedal box. And then what we're going to do is we're going to remove the wiper tray. The wiper tray will give us more room. Two reasons. One, there's two bolts for the top of the transmission. I've seen guys use from underneath the car with 3 feet of extensions by tipping the engine back. I don't want to do that. I'm just going to get the wiper cowl out, and you can get the 2 bolts right on top with just a standard, ratchet or even a wrench will work. So it'll give us room for that, as well as we need to drill a hole here for our firewall for the clutch cable that's going to loop. It's going to loop down and go to the transmission when it's in there. So we're going to work on doing that. Seats, pedals, column, wiper tray. Seat time. I haven't had the seat out yet, so I'm going to work on it first. And there's also a radio mount from when the police owned this car. 3 13s and 1 18. We're going to have to shoot the bottom of the frame with some PV blaster because I think it's rusted to the body because these bolts go through the floor. But we'll get at least 3 of them out. Oh, that's soaking. I'm going to do the driver's seat because I've had that one out for sure. Lift them up off the back 2 studs. There's 2 studs on the back and 2 bolts on the front. Bolts in front, nuts in the back. This tip for passenger side rear nut removal brought to you by Bush Latte. What I've got going on here is a 19mm deep socket on a 1/2-inch drive to get on there. That's the only way I could figure it out. I don't know if it's an 18 or a 19, but it's working. So we're just going to do, which we can do about it, right? It is what it is. We're going to get this thing out of here. These 2 bolts are from the transmission cross member. Don't worry about that. I'll show you that later. Door track came off. No big deal. And we're going to get our shop vac, excuse me. Vacuum this out. so I guess I'll run through it for you again. But we're going to take the steering column out. I'm not going to take the wheel off. I'm going to leave the wheel on this time. And if I do that, it's very important that you don't, once you disconnect the column, you don't turn the wheel. You have to keep the wheel straight, because otherwise, like we went over the last time, the clock spring could get damaged. So I'm going to be careful about it. But before we get to that, we have to remove this trim piece. And, open the passenger door, and you'll see a lip where it ends. You just carefully lift, and she unsnaps. This is your airbag passenger clip, and then you've got your trunk button connector, as well as the rear defroster connector. Open the door in here. It's hot. Nice. One note we can make about this is that if you pull this out, there's actually two. This one says ignition and this one doesn't. So if you plug the one that says ignition into the trunk button, the trunk will only open with the key on. I don't want it that way, so I have it the other way. The trunk will open at all times. We're going to tuck that one back in there. Now we're going to go, I'm going to go on the other side, you'll stay here. Sorry about that. We're going to take the parking brake out. There's a little 7mm screw under here. Parking brake release, I meant to say. Okay. And then this thing, just be carefully pull it. Put that in the back seat. Alright, now there's this armor. 10mm, what is that, 8mm? I think that's 8mm. Yeah, 4 screws. That in the back seat. Now we're going to get the upper and lower column pieces off, tilt it down. Cool. And those are 5.5mm. That in the back seat. Alright, I'm going to go disconnect the battery. Now, since we're here, we're not going to be running the automatic anymore. I'm just going to get my torque spits. There's a torque spit right here on the lever. Take that right off. So long, shifter lever. We do need to get the shifter cable out for sure. Slight recap. We've taken the shifter out with the torque spit, and next we're going to remove the steering column itself. So there's 2 nuts that face us and 2 nuts that face the firewall. So we're going to take those bolts out, and then there's 4 of those bolts to get the column out. And when we're taking the column out, remember that this one, you see that bracket? Don't forget to take that off. Push that to the side, and don't forget to put it back on when you're putting it back on. Remember, you don't want to turn the wheel. So keep it as straight as possible and put it somewhere safe. And then there's a firewall. We'll work on that later. Okay, now we're going to do the wiper column. Alright, the first step in removing the wiper tray is to get the wiper arms themselves off. So if you look right here, The sun is glaring again this morning. If you look right here, there's a little tab. So what you do, there it is, you can see it now, right there. So what you do is you lift up on the wiper arm away from the windshield, you know, like this. But you gotta do this with the hood closed. But you lift up, and then you take a screwdriver and you pry that little tab, you know, that way, you know, kind of just put your screwdriver in there and twist it, and you want to get that tab away, and then you'll be able to wiggle the arm off. You'll see a spline, and when you do that, there's a little key. Don't lose the little key. Don't let it drop anywhere. Be careful. Ideally, you would do this. You would turn the wipers on, and then just shut the car off when the wipers are like in the middle of the windshield. But this will still work. It's right there, so don't lose that. I'll get my magnet. Hang on. Time for a beer anyway. All right. Magnets. Hope I can get it. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. We're taking the cowl off anyway. You know? So let's just keep going. There's a weather strip here. Just pull that out. And then you got some clips here. So just pull those off with the screwdriver. 2, 3. There. And then you got some Phillips head screws against the windshield. So you gotta take them out. This is where your squirts are. Windshield washer squirts, so you got there's a little hose right here. So just carefully pull that off. Okay. And now there's a Christmas tree in each corner, so just kind of gently lift that. And what you have to do is you have to kind of bow it in the middle. That's our little key. Alright. Now we gotta get our 8mm on the socket and take out the screws that hold in the actual wiper assembly. If you can see on the left, if the sun isn't too bad, you can see that right here. I'll point with my magnet. Right here, my wiper tray cracked. So there would be some screws over there you would have to remove, but on mine we don't. Clipped into it. Another one. And then here's your wiper blade. Alright, so you can see that with that removed, you've got clear access to this area to drill a hole, and you can see down in there, there's our transmission. So you can, the 2 bolts in question are the 2 upper ones. So there's one right here where my finger is. You probably can't see it. Maybe you can. EGR tube. But anyway, you can get to the transmission upper ones from here. And so now that's done. The last thing I want to do inside the car before we start getting underneath the transmission, underneath the car and tearing out the transmission and the exhaust and stuff like that is the pedals. You know, I want to take the pedals out. And that's pretty simple. There are 4 bolts. You can see there's 2 of them. One right there, and then one on the left. There's 4. I think they're 14s, and there's one on top. I think it's a 10. But once you get, I don't think I'm going to be able to film it, but I've done this before at the junkyard. So 4 against the firewall and 1 on the very top, and your brake pedal will come out. And I'm also going to take the gas pedal out, and I'm going to remove it. So this car has the power pedals, and it has the electronic throttle. You can see that the gas pedal is just like a, you know, it's fully electronic. There's no cable. So I'm going to unhook the gas pedal too and get that out of there. That one, it looks like there's, you can see there's a nut right there. And there should be 3 or 4 nuts to get them out. So let me work on that. My battery's dying. I gotta charge the battery, and I'm gonna spray all the stuff underneath the car with PB Blaster, like all the exhaust connections and stuff. Let that soak while we're doing it and while the phone is charging. So let me work on that, and I'll get back to you when I'm done. It would just be tough to film this live, and I don't think you need to see it anyway. So let me get the pedals out. Alright, as you can see, I got the pedals out. And that was a pain in the butt. So, this is the gas pedal. The gas pedal is easy. There's 3 11mm nuts. These are your nuts. These nuts. Anyway, there's 3 nuts. And they're one on the bottom, one on the top right, and one on the top left. So that comes out no problem. And it's got, with the power pedals, power pedals, it's got this motor that has a cable that goes to this worm gear mechanism that when you press the pedal, the brakes still apply. So the master cylinder hooks up to this rod. So this is what was annoying about it. I'm about to go over it. So you've got, this is what I'm thinking. I'm not sure, so don't quote me, but I think that this switch, you have to unhook it. There's 2 wires that come into it. There's a connector that goes into this, and then there's a connector for your gas pedal, and then there's one more that goes into the motor back there. So you can see them here. There's a, this is for the gas pedal. You got to slide that red thing up, and then you push, unhook. Here, there's a little tab you got to press for your pedals, power pedals, and then there's this little connector for the cruise control switch, And there's this connector for the brake light switch, and there's this little Christmas tree annoying thing that goes into this bracket. So you got to get all that out. But the hardest part was this. So there's the master cylinder rod. That guy. You can see how it's thin and it has a hole in it. You can see it's got a hole in it, so that rides between, you know, this rides between it. So you would essentially have this sliding over it, and then you've got this yellow clip. This isn't hard to get out. All you do is you grab onto where my fingers are with a pair of needle nose and pull. That's easy. What's hard is this stupid yellow thing. This stupid thing, I don't remember how I got it off. I just kind of fought with it and it came out, but now that I see that it's off, it's a hinged mechanism, so you have to squeeze these two tabs